Welcome to Silvercrest Learning Resource Center. The Silvercrest Learning Resource Center, which is on the 4th floor of the Silvercrest building, houses a growing collection of volumes of books and other materials such as periodicals, pamphlets, clippings, and audiovisual materials. The center supports this institution's educational programs by providing appropriate educational materials and services to meet the instructional, curricular, and research needs of both faculty and the students. What are the different services that LRC Silvercrest renders? LRC Silvercrest renders different services like library orientation for freshmen, transferee, or upon request of teachers. Bibliographic instruction, which is giving instruction to students in the effective and efficient use of the LRC and its materials. Reader's guidance, providing appropriate educational materials and services to both faculty and students. Information retrieval or current awareness services by building the LRC collection and organizing them for quick access to information relevant to the demands and needs of users. We also provide computerized bibliographical services to improve access to the collection. Internet section provides access to the internet to keep pace with the trends brought by information technology. Viewing and listening AV services provide physical facilities and equipment that will make possible the most effective use of AV materials in coordination with the staff assigned at the equipment and storage room. Service hours. During regular school days, the LRC is open from Mondays to Fridays at 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. No lunch break, and Saturdays at 8 a.m. to 12 noon. During summer, the LRC caters Mondays to Fridays at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Upon entry. Before entering the Learning Resource Center, students are required to leave their bags and envelopes at the baggage counter for safety purposes. Students are required to have library cards every time they will use the center. The LRC strictly implements the no library card, no entry policy. The requirements for availing library cards are one recent 1x1 ID picture and a letter stating the reason of losing the library card. Lost library card reported should pay 50 pesos at the accounting office as replacement fee and recent 1x1 ID picture. Upon entry, the students are required to log in their names at the attendance monitoring system. What are the different sections of the library? The library is composed of different sections wherein the materials are placed where students should go for borrowing materials. Baggage counter is where you will leave your things before entering the premises. Control desk is where a staff will check your library card and let you sign in at the attendance form. The circulation counter is where the students will borrow or return materials they've used. It is also the place for reference materials. Circulation area is where the foreign materials are located. Filipiniana area is where the Filipiniana books are placed. Periodicals area is where the journals, magazines, and newspapers are placed. Faculty area is the place where faculty stays in the library. Internet area provides free internet access for the students. The students are allowed to browse and search the internet for educational purposes only. The technical section is where all the materials are processed and organized by the LRC staff. What are the collections? LRC collections are identified as follows. Books, which consist of different categories like general reference books, which are the dictionaries, encyclopedias, atlases, almanacs, handbooks, and the likes. Non-fiction books are materials that deal with real or historical notation about certain topics. Fiction books are stories created from an author's imagination. The most popular of these materials are novels and short stories. Filipiniana books are materials about Philippines, written in Filipino language, written by Filipino author, and anything about the Philippines. Special collection books are the materials written or owned by a popular person during old times, like the materials owned by the owner of the school and the materials written by heroes and the likes. Periodicals, which are the newspapers, magazines, journals, and the vertical file materials that come from newspaper clippings. LRC Silvercrest also offers audiovisual materials like CDs, DVDs, CD-ROMs, VHS, cassette tapes, globes, and maps. How are the materials organized? LRC Silvercrest is using the DDC or the Dewey Decimal Classification System in organizing and arranging the books and the materials so they can be easily found. Call number is used in locating the materials needed. The traditional way of locating books is using the card catalog. There are 3 kinds of card catalog: the author card, the title card, and the subject card. The modern way in locating the materials needed offered is the OPAC, or what we call the Online Public Access Catalog. It is a search station providing access to information stored in the library, such as title, author, and subject. Information given is call number, accession number, title, author, number of copies, and location. Just type in the information about the materials that you're looking for, and the system will inform its location. Just make sure that you noted the section or call number of the material that you're going to use. All the materials in the Learning Resource Center can be searched in the OPAC. Borrowing procedures. Students loan out books and return them on the due date stamped on the borrower's card at the circulation counter. Only 15 minutes is allowed for photocopying of books outside. Book cards of library materials used within the library should be signed and deposited at the circulation counter together with the library card. Library materials used within the library should be returned to the circulation counter attendant, and materials taken out are inspected before leaving the library. Every student is required to voluntarily have his or her things checked at the control desk before going in and signing out. Loan policy. Students are allowed to use the following materials: professional books for photocopy and overnight use depending on the number of copies available. General reference and thesis for library use only. Vertical files for photocopy and library use only. Circulation books for library and for overnight use only. Filipiniana books for library use and for overnight use only. Periodicals are for photocopy only and library use only. AV materials are available through faculty's request. Globes and maps are for library use only. Fiction books are 1 week renewable for another week, depending on the demand. Loan period or borrowing time. Students can loan out books at 3 p.m. and return the material 8 a.m. the following day. Fines are imposed for the failure to return the books on time or when they are due. For overdue fiction and non-fiction books, a fine of 10 pesos is charged for 1 day. For grades 1 to 3, there are no library fines. Failure to return borrowed materials after 1 week shall result to suspension of borrower's right to avail of a book for another period. Lost or damaged books should be reported at once to any available LRC staff. It should be replaced with the same title, author, and latest edition. In case of non-replaceable book, the borrower shall pay the current price of the lost or damaged book. Borrowers are reminded to take extra care of the borrowed books. Discipline. The LRC is imposing rules and regulations that should be observed inside. Silence must be observed at all times. Eating, sleeping, and smoking are strictly prohibited. Willful mutilation of any material shall be dealt with accordingly. Borrowing of books for another person is not allowed. The library card is not transferable. Students caught using borrowed library cards or students who lend library cards will be deprived of their privileges. Using the Internet section. The Internet section is open to all bona fide students of LCC. Students who desire to use the Internet will coordinate with the person in charge at the Internet section. LRC Silvercrest is a Wi-Fi area. Students and faculty members may bring their personal laptops for Wi-Fi access.